NFL camps are open for business, but some players are not. Terry McLaurin of the Commanders is holding out. This is one that doesn't make the headlines like Micah Parsons, even Trey Hendrickson, but it should because Terry McLaurin is 29 years of age in the last year of his deal with the Commanders. And if you look at over the last 3 seasons, he's made 2 Pro Bowls. Last year, second-team All-Pro, 82 catches, 1,100 yards, and 13 touchdowns. And to be able to help Jaden Daniels make that transition into a very successful rookie year. But this isn't getting a lot of attention. Now, if he was playing for the Cowboys, it would. But he plays for the Commanders. But the Commanders are on the short odds of a team that can compete for a Super Bowl this year. Certainly better odds than the Cowboys. But Micah Parsons' situation, which we've talked about, is he's going to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. The question is, when is it going to, and is there going to be any aftershocks? Because it just feels like Jerry Jones is saying things, and you say things. He loves to go to a press conference, hold a press conference, and then all of a sudden he starts talking, and then you go down a rabbit hole, and then you might be saying something that bothers that person. Now, I don't know if Micah Parsons, he doesn't have any other options. He wants to be a Cowboy. He'll be a Cowboy. It just, I don't understand the runway with this. Where you're taking all this time to do what? What exactly are you accomplishing? Unless this saves you money because you don't have to pay him, maybe you hold that off for a couple of months. Okay. But I just think trying to get goodwill with contracts with players, I go back to Trey Hendrickson. When the owner who inherited the team from his dad is talking about Trey Hendrickson being a little emotional with his contract. Okay, Mike Brown is being disingenuous to Trey Hendrickson. Mike Brown negotiates all these contracts. He doesn't have any emotional investment in this. Unless you don't listen to him and acquiesce to him, then he becomes a little emotional. Trey Hendrickson is just fighting for what he thinks he's worth. He's outperformed T.J. Watt the last 2 years. Now, is he going to get money that is similar? No. But you could have had him for $34 million. Now it's gone up to $40 million for these edge rushers. And Micah Parsons probably going to get $42 million. Just trying to understand the logic of, let me take care of you. And the Eagles, they are the blueprint. They have been brilliant in signing these players, signing them early, because if you look at some of the deals that they've signed, they got bargains here. And I think that's where some of these owners, they tried to play hardball here. And do I think Trey Hendrickson eventually gets paid? I do. Now, at least they were looking at maybe the trade options for him. Dallas isn't doing that with Micah Parsons. But Micah Parsons spoke yesterday, and Cowboys camp is open, and he was asked if the Cowboys do want to get a deal done.
Cowboys want to get a deal done?
I mean, honestly, for me, it really don't matter. Like I said, I've been pretty consistent. If they don't want me here, they don't want me here. I go about my business. I understand the nature of the business. Like I said, as long as I'm here and under contract, I'm going to do what I have to do to perform at the highest level. But if this is the end, this is the end. There's the same way that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and the other Jerry Jones take care of their family, it's the same way I need to take care of my family. I got my own 3 kids of my own, so we all need to take care of our own family at the end of the day.
Okay, it's going to get done. That's why I don't want to waste your time, talking about the Cowboys. If this wasn't going to get done, if I thought that there was a real risk here, then it's a big story. I do think it's a story just from the standpoint of, once again, it's Jerry doing this. He did this to Dak Prescott. Remember, Dak signed his deal, what was that, the Sunday of the first week of the NFL season prior to the game? Did you need to go that far, that long, to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? Seems like you could have done that earlier. Now you take kind of a slight or shot at Dak Prescott, that he didn't stay healthy. I had to pay him all this money, and Micah Parsons could get hit by a car. And what are we doing here? You're running a business. It just feels like This is more entertainment than running a business. Hey, I'm going to go to a press conference and I'm going to be all over SportsCenter. That's disappointing. If I'm a Cowboy fan, you just want him to do it right. Just do it right. Get our guys in. Okay, you overpaid for Dak. All right. CeeDee Lamb's a really good player. You're spending $30 million. Micah's going to cost you $42 million. Dak cost you $60 million. Okay? Now let's work on the rest of the roster because we have to compete in a division that has the Eagles and the Commanders. You know, the Bengals are in a division with the Ravens. And the Steelers are all in now. That's what I don't understand with the Bengals' logic as well. Now you have, Mike Brown, the Bengals president, saying it's foolishness that Shamar Stewart is still unsigned. And the language here is Stewart wants everything guaranteed. Even if there's conduct detrimental to the team, he wants everything fully guaranteed. And then Mike Brown said, well, we don't want to pay somebody who could be in jail, which is a big leap of, faith of or lack of faith with the guy you drafted. Yeah, but he could end up in jail, and then I don't want to pay that. Okay. So this is, once again, it's the Bengals, and yes, they've been to a Super Bowl. They've been to a Super Bowl more recent than the Cowboys. But when you have these owners who get involved or how they get involved, it usually doesn't go well. Most of your organizations, owners don't get involved. They have GMs and coaches who do that. But Jerry is the coach and the GM and the owner. And, after a while you go, it's unfortunate because I would say to Micah Parsons, you could have signed Micah Parsons to a deal that was less than TJ Watt or Myles Garrett. You could have done this. You could have been proactive to say, dude, you're our guy. And you could have saved some money here. And this is all about squeezing everybody in that salary cap. And this is a team that is so top-heavy. I mean, is there another team in the NFL that's this top-heavy? Quarterback, wide receiver, edge rusher. Is anybody coming close to the Cowboys in how much money they're spending? But you could have got ahead of this. You could have done that with Dak. You could have done that with CeeDee Lamb. And you certainly could have done that with Micah Parsons. Remember, this is ownership that says they're all in. What does that mean, all in? And then the Bengals, you need defense because the Ravens are going to be a Super Bowl contender. The Steelers, probably better than they were last year. Get in front of this. Gone are the old school ways of we're playing hardball with these guys. This has to be almost working together hand in hand, a partnership with these players. Trey Hendrickson wants to be there. You don't act like you want him to be there. Micah Parsons wants to be there. You don't act like you want him to be there. Or we do, but you're not getting a team-friendly deal. If I'm Micah Parsons, no way. Would I give you a team-friendly deal if I was kind of proactive to this months ago? Yes. I mean, look at Mahomes. Mahomes gave the Chiefs a team-friendly deal. Why? Because he had trust in the front office. They would continue to surround him with talent. They would be competing for Super Bowls. Now, yes, it's a 10-year deal for $500 million, but still, I said it at the time, in 2 or 3 years, this will be a bargain. And that's exactly what's happened with this. But he had trust in ownership. He had trust in his GM, trust in his coach, and look how that's played out. Brady did that. Hey, I'll help you here, but I have trust. I have the best coach in history, and I have a great owner, a Hall of Fame owner, and I'm going to be competing for championships. And I think it worked out pretty well. Yes, Paulie.
And you're exactly right about signing early to save a couple bucks. If you go back to Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they signed him a year earlier. They could have waited a whole nother year. He's completely under contract. But they thought, we know what we have. He's a sure thing. We sign him now, we get him at this rate. We sign him a year later, that rate is now $3 million more per year. So they look at it as saving money by signing 1 year early.
And that could mean the difference of keeping somebody, signing somebody, and $3 million. But I'm not sure I understand the logic of this with the Bengals situation and certainly the Dallas Cowboys. But I will say, I don't think Mike Brown is looking for attention. I think Jerry Jones is looking for attention. He loves attention, and he got it. And this will pass. That's why when I bring it up, I'm like, gosh, how important is this? Because Micah Parsons will get signed. Yes, Eden.
I mean, I agree to some extent, but I think you can sign a player early and save a couple of bucks, right? And you sign a 4-year deal at this rate, and then year 2 they have the best year of their career, and they say, well, maybe we rearrange year 3, and I'm just going to sit out here a year early before we can really start talking about this. I mean, we saw like Darrelle Revis. We've seen people. That dude was a master of holding out. He would sign a 10-year deal, and after year 2 be like, nope, redo it, which I'm all for, actually. But there really is no you can get in early, but that just means that's the earlier you're going to be renegotiating the back end of that contract.
But look at what the Eagles did. They got in early, and they got bargains, and they're favored to repeat as a Super Bowl champ. I understand what you're saying, and I don't agree with these players who say, hey, I outperformed my contract. No, this is the contract you sign. You have to live up to something here because nobody ever gives money back. If Trey Hendrickson signs for $35 million, it's not like he's going to go, hey, I only had 4 sacks. Wait a minute. You want me to give money back? Yes, See,
this is what drives me crazy. Are we paying for potential or are we paying for performance? Because Trey Hendrickson, he's performed. Now pay the guy who's like, wow, why would we pay him? He's already done everything. Now he's too old. We already got his best years. We're not going to pay him now. Well, then which side of it is it? I understand that there's a certain mindset of like, how about we don't pay anybody ever anything and we just get them for as cheap as possible? I understand that. It's garbage, but I get it. You either have to choose one side of it or the other. You're either choosing them on potential or you're choosing them on performance.
Well, I think it's the timing of that. But also with Trey Hendrickson, he's 30. If he was 28, then maybe it's different. But 30, and you're saying, man, we got 35 sacks out of this guy the last 2 years. What do we want to give him? Meanwhile, the Steelers looked at T.J. Watt, same age, and said, we're going to make you the highest paid defensive player in the game, highest paid non-quarterback in the game. So I think it depends on the timing and depends on the organization. Yes, Paulie.
And Myles Garrett, 2 years younger than Trey Hendrickson, and that's it. It's not even a question that he gets a deal. What if Trey Hendrickson did a deal where he got, I want $3 million per sack. There's the contract. Give me $3 million for the next 3-season contract, $3 million per sack. If I get 15 sacks, I've done my job. I'm a first-team All-Pro, and you give me $45 million. Everybody wins.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I know you can't, but it'd be great if you could.
Now, if he said, give me $2 million per sack, so that's $30 million, and then you could give him another bonus if he makes an All-Pro or Pro Bowl. And I don't know if you can put that language into contracts or how much you can put into a contract. But, that's where a player then gets selfish, where you're asking him to do something, or, wide receivers would do that. They'd come back to the huddle. I got to get my touches, man. I got to get X number of yards. I got to get X number of catches. Then it becomes selfish and it's detrimental to the team. But it is interesting when we talk about, do I pay you on potential? Do I pay you on performance? I think it depends on the team and the age of the player with that.